Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. This is the inaugural ChannelTech VideoCast. My name is Charlene O'Hanlon. I'm the Senior Executive Editor at the VAR Guy, and I am here today with Diane Krakora, CEO of PartnerPath. Diane, thank you so much for taking 10 minutes or so out of your day to talk with me.
Always a pleasure, Charlene. Thanks for having me.
Great. So hopefully what we want to achieve in these 10 minutes or so is just kind of talk about the topics of the day, kind of bounce ideas off each other, and hopefully come up with maybe some new ideas for hopefully for coverage maybe, but just kind of talk about the industry in general. So, you know, one of the things that's been really a hot topic in the IT space this week and last week is the fact that Chuck Robbins was named the new CEO of Cisco, and since then he pretty much just got right to work cleaning out the C-suite and the executive suite. So today he named his new executive lineup, including a new CTO, which means that Padma Sriwarrior, who was the CEO under John Chambers, or CTO under John Chambers, she's moving into a new position, which is a strategic advisor role, which is a pretty general role. We don't know exactly what she's going to be doing, but he's also got a new Senior Vice President of Worldwide Sales. And so, and that person is going to be Chris Dedicoat, who was the EMEA and Russia sales head. So, you know, obviously this begs the question, are we going to see some changes with Cisco's channel lineup? And kind of want to hear from you what you're thinking based on the changes that Chuck Robbins has made.
It is very interesting. He hasn't even really taken the helm yet. He doesn't officially take the helm until the end of July.
Right.
And we've seen already 3 what I consider key executives start or depart, right? Rob Lloyd announced his departure as VP of Development and Sales. Mm-hmm. So did Gary Moore, who was COO. And those 2 are really understandable because, as I understood it, they were both in the hunt for the CEO job.
Right.
You know, they were kind of, since I've been attending Cisco Partner Summits for the last 10 years, these last 6 years have been really setting either Rob or Gary up kind of as John's right hand. Mm-hmm. In all of the analyst briefings, etc. So I can understand, particularly because those 2 didn't really get the CEO job, that I can understand kind of that departure. And I don't know if it's their idea or Chuck's idea or kind of how that's all happening. I think the one that kind of shocked me was Padma and her departure as CTO, just because there wasn't a kind of a conflict there. But with an executive changeover, there is often a lot of change at the leadership level as well. And I don't want a lot of people to get too freaked out about some of those that turnover. But partners are going to freak out because they really get very nervous around change, especially since Cisco has been so partner-centric for the last 18 years under John's leadership. He's really created a partner-centric organization, and that has filtered well downhill. Chuck's very partner-friendly as well, but I think it's going to make partners nervous.
Well, I think so too, and you know, the interesting thing about Padma, it was, you know, I had heard also kind of through the years that she was being groomed for, you know, take over John Chambers' position when he finally retired. So I wonder if this is, you know, a little bit of that because she wasn't tapped for the position, that maybe she's finding, you know, her role at Cisco maybe isn't what she thought it was, and so she's moving into another position. I don't know. I don't, you know, there have been rumors all week that she was going to be departing also. So I don't know if this is just kind of a, rather than, you know, just leave the company altogether, this is kind of a graceful way to make that exit. So, but, you know, the interesting thing that that I wonder about is with the new sales chief, you know, I know Wendy Barr's kind of the North American channel chief right now. So, you know, we haven't heard any changes within that. I think it's a little soon that we would be hearing things, but I wonder if we're going to be hearing something over the next few weeks or months about changes to Cisco's channel organization, which, you know, understandably could make channel partners nervous. But you know, I wonder also if some of these changes have to do with this Cisco's kind of new shift in focus from being that hardware-centric company to wanting their partners to really focus on software, and also this cloud strategy that until now has been kind of a weak one for Cisco, but I know they're putting a lot of effort into really becoming that cloud powerhouse, and so they're investing a lot. I mean, this week they just announced that they were acquiring Piston, which is an OpenStack company, which really, you know, if anybody wants my opinion, that's definitely the route to take for building clouds. But you know, it's obviously the tack they're taking as well. I mean, I know that they're trying to play nice with Microsoft Azure as well, but it seems to me that they're putting throwing a lot of their weight behind OpenStack. Between the acquisition of Piston and then at the Worldwide Partner Conference, they announced a new OpenStack services offering. So, you know, I wonder if the two are tied together, Cisco's cloud strategy along with these new executive appointments. But I think, you know, we're going to be in for, you know, a really interesting story over the next few months.
It's certainly going to take Cisco some time, and I think of it in years, if not a decade, to be well known as a cloud company. They've been selling routers, switches, and hubs for so long that it's going to take a while for them to kind of move to the software side of it. And a lot of the partners we talk to say, "You mean WebEx?" when we ask them about Cisco software play.
Oh no.
I know. So it's that brand is a very well-known brand in networking hardware, and it's going to take some time for the moniker of networking giant to wear off into a IT company. You know, the largest IT company in the world is what John used to always say that he, you know, really wanted it to grow to and become. And I think it's going to take a while for them to really define what their role in the cloud is. We hear a lot about intercloud, getting more specifics on that, getting more partners involved in that. And so that's great movement and momentum. And the executive kind of shift at the top could either be really great for that, as we've seen Chuck say that he wants to flatten the organization and make them more agile and nimble. I joke, I giggle, because Cisco's a huge organization. You know, to be, you know, have those nimble and agile words is a unique concept for them. But he said he wanted to flatten the organization, take out an SVP level and make them more agile. So will those changes help that? And or will these changes also help them really have a vision and execute more into their cloud focus? It'll be, time will tell, I guess.
Yeah, that's true, and you know, I agree with you with that. You know, it's going to be a while before Cisco is really known as a cloud powerhouse, and you know, you can just take a look at their quarterly earnings and really get a sense that is where the company really needs to focus, because you know, their North American enterprise sales were up like 17% or something like that for the last quarter, or maybe it was 11%. I can't remember off the top of my head, but service provider sales worldwide, including North America, were just really, I like to say, sucking wind. They just were not good, and that actually dragged down the company. And so, you know, if you think about what service providers need, they need cloud infrastructure, and that is the majority of their revenues these days. So, not having a strong cloud play is really hurting Cisco right now. So, I think I think the moves that they're making so far with the Piston acquisition and the emphasis on services and cloud building and OpenStack, I think that definitely puts them on the right path. But I do agree that it's going to be a while before Cisco really is, known as that cloud powerhouse that it really needs to be that, the biggest IT company in the world.
And they really need to take the channel partners along with them in that.
Yeah.
And they have a large base. Their ecosystem is primarily traditional VARs and resellers. So in their move, they're either going to have to find and engage and have a value proposition to new partners that engage in at least managed services, if not cloud, if you wanted to create that as a continuum from resell to managed services to cloud. Mm-hmm. They either have to start finding those partners or really looking at how are those partners making a transition and a transformation with Cisco as their core kind of capabilities around that cloud.
Sure. Makes sense. Makes sense. Well, Diane, I think we have exhausted this topic. So I want to say thank you very much for getting on the video call with me and having this discussion today. And I hope that we can make this a weekly thing.
I look forward to it, Charlene. Thanks for inviting me.
All right. Thanks. Thank you, everybody, for joining. We'll see you next time.